Hey everyone, welcome into our weekly recap of the biggest developments in cannabis for the week of June the 23rd. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and this week we got a lot to unpack. They include Texas and how they made a rare move forward on medical marijuana, a federal crackdown on hemp intensifies, Congress takes steps towards cannabis access for veterans, and we've got fresh data showing that legalization works. So let's get into it. Let's first begin in a surprise shift. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed a bill expanding the state's compassionate use program. It adds chronic pain, TBI, and Crohn's disease as qualifying conditions and opens the door to delivery methods like patches, inhalers, lotions, and even vape devices. Another big win, the number of medical dispensary licenses jumped from 3 to 15 with satellite locations allowed, potentially improving access for millions of Texans. But behind the scenes, the bill was a battle. The Senate gutted parts of the House version, cutting broader access for veterans and denying health agencies authority to expand qualifying conditions. Still, chronic pain and TBI made it back in, and that's a big deal considering opioid alternatives are scarce. Meanwhile, in Washington, Republican Andy Harris is advancing a federal spending bill that would ban most of hemp-derived THC products, including ones with traces of amounts of THC or anything deemed psychoactive. The intent, Harris says, is to stop loophole abuse. But in practice, the bill could wipe out much of the CBD and minor cannabinoid industry, even products that are compliant under the 2018 Farm Bill. So, not sure about this. Even the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America are urging Congress to back off, warning that the ban could send a legitimate industry underground and destroy tens of thousands of jobs. Keep your eye on this one. Also making news for the first time in years, Congress is showing real movement on veteran access to medical cannabis. The House passed 2 amendments. 1, repealing a VA policy that blocks doctors from recommending cannabis. 2, urging the VA to prep for psychedelic therapy, including MDMA and psilocybin. This is encouraging. So who's making the progress here? Well, it's Republican Brian Mast, the veteran himself, said it best, quote, "Veterans deserve options outside of narcotics," end quote. These provisions aren't law yet, but the bipartisan support signals a shift, and the Senate will now face pressure to follow through. RFK's got to be watching this, and that's a good thing. Now let's talk about data. According to the Marijuana Policy Project, cannabis legalization has generated $24.7 billion in state tax revenue since 2014. In 2024 alone, $4.4 billion. States like Colorado, Illinois, and Nevada are funding schools, equity programs, and public health, all from cannabis dollars. What's even more impressive? Teen use is down in most legal states. Why? Dispensaries check IDs, and tax revenue often funds prevention and after-school programs. Colorado saw high school use drop from 22% in 2011 to 12.8% in 2023. So legal cannabis isn't just a theory anymore, it's working in practice. All about the data. Now let's move on to our next topic. In a plot twist, Governor Greg Abbott vetoed Senate Bill 3, which would effectively ban hemp-derived THC products in Texas. But he's not going soft. Abbott called for a full regulatory overhaul. Age limits, permits, lab testing, and time of day sales restrictions, just like alcohol. A special session kicks off July 21st, where this framework will be debated, and it will be a hot one. Expect fireworks, but this could set the tone for responsible cannabinoid regulation across the South. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's now move to the business side, where Forefront Ventures entered receivership in Massachusetts. A court-appointed receiver is now overseeing operations and asset sales. Leadership shakeups continue, with Chris Crane resigning from the board. Next up was Trulieve, who opened up a dispensary in Oakland Park, Florida. The store offers full product access and brands like Modern Flower, Sweet Talk, Khalifa Kush, and Alien Labs. Next up is Aurora Cannabis. They expanded its compassionate pricing program in Canada. Now, Canadians earning up to $60,000 annually qualify for discounts on medical cannabis. Next up, and it's a big one, it involves Tilray, who announced earlier this week that they're entering into Italy. This is a country home to 59 million people, but right now, this only has a $12.5 million cannabis program. The reasons why is because it's been extremely limited with the current program in place through Bedrocan. Now with Tilray entering into this market, it's unlimited, and really they're the only company entering into a market of this size, so expect rapid growth over the next couple of years. So job well done by Tilray. Also, Verano, they also made news this week where they relaunched its Zen Leaf Cave Creek dispensary in Arizona with the new bodega-style layout. The location now features in-store browsing, music, local vendors, and celeb appearances. Aurora Cannabis, they also launched 2 new high THC strains in Poland, Farm Gas and Sourdough, which strengthens their global medical footprint. In Juicy, they teamed up with Real Housewives star Stacey Roosh to launch Sheo and new wellness edibles in Virginia. Early feedback so far, it's been really strong. And last but not least is AYR Wellness. They extended their temporary creditor waiver as it navigates financial reporting and capital structure issues. The next deadline, July 3rd, 2025. So if you're an AYR Wellness investor, mark that in your calendar. That's a wrap for this week. From Texas reform and federal hemp battles to veterans access and corporate shakeups, to clear this industry is moving fast. Also, what'd you think of the interview I did with Mike Tyson? Let us know. Leave your comments below. Love to get your feedback. What an experience it was. Most importantly, great to have Iron Mike Tyson in our corner as he pushes the narrative forward in Washington for cannabis reform. So we'll see how that progresses in the coming weeks. And also keep in mind, Iron Mike, along with a number of high-profile celebrities, sent a letter to the Trump administration really to push cannabis reform moving forward. They include Iron Mike, Kevin Durant, Des Bryant, Allen Iverson, among others. So let's watch this closely, is really how their voices can be heard, not only with the Trump administration, but with the DEA. Let's get this going, and hopefully we get some rescheduling later this year. But it's good to see some big name voices are now getting more and more involved. As I said, that's it for today. And like I always say, everyone, stay open-minded, stay connected, and I'll see you next time at our latest Trade to Black podcast. One last thing, make sure to scan this QR code and become a daily baked-in newsletter subscriber, which delivered to your inbox weekdays Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, giving you all the latest information on the business and reform side of the cannabis industry. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thanks again, everyone, for watching.